So I'm going to start off with some questions because, it's late in the day and late in conference. How many of you have administered ISC DHCP servers during your career? Yeah, exactly. The comment was anyone who didn't raise their hands is a liar. How many of you have used ISC DHCP? That's certainly almost all of you. So how many of you know that ISC DHCP has been EOL'd for almost 3 years now? Okay, good, thank goodness. Okay. Anyone surprised that I just said ISC DHCP has been end-of-lifed? Be honest. Patrick, okay. Okay, good. We have a few. All right. How many of you have tried ISC's replacement for ISC DHCP, which is Kea? Okay. Now, the next question will reflect poorly on us, I hope, kinda, because this is kind of the point of the talk. How many of you investigated using ISC Kea and couldn't figure out what was included and what wasn't the very first time you tried to use it? Yeah, okay, so there's some of that, right? So, ISC, we make open source, freely available software. How we do that for the good of the internet and while maintaining, the good of our employees has always been sort of a bit of a dance, right? And so one of the things that we tried with Kea was having some of the advanced functionality to be commercially licensed, right? So we had a bit of a mixed success or not with that. Let's see how that translates onto a large screen there. But basically, free and open source, standards compliant, that is always our mission and our goal. With Kea, there were a lot of functionalities added to make ease of administration, particularly in the ISP space. And so one of the models that we came up with was to make these advanced features, ones that were not in ISC DHCP, make those commercially licensed, and for pretty nominal fees. Now, what ended up happening, and this is a technical audience, but maybe some of you are business-minded, that wasn't very successful. Okay, so we have maintained the project, and ISC is on really good, solid footing right now. But that's always subject to change. But it ended up being, and I in one of the earlier talks, I think it was the BGP routes one, we're talking about possibly commercially licensing certain parts, right? So if you're in the open source space and you want to talk about how do you survive and feed your employees, please do come talk to us because it's an interesting thing, right? So what we found with these commercially licensed hooks the idea is we're just going to set up a little web store. People can click, purchase something. It's great, minimal cost. What we found was it's a huge burden on us, right? Often we spent more time servicing the website. Some people want purchase orders done for like a $549 product, right? So there's a lot to this that we learned that I would like to save you from learning. So anyway, the short of it here is we have all these sort of advanced subscriber and even enterprise hooks in prior versions of Kea up to 2.6. So the way ISC's versioning works for Kea is if you're on an even numbered one, 2.6 is our production one, 2.7 is our current development version. If you wanted to play around with any of these hooks that we have now open sourced, you can download that right now today, Kea 2.77, I think. Anyway, whatever the current 2.7 is, and you have access to all these hooks that were prior commercially licensed. So Kea 3.0 is going to be released, knock on wood or something somewhere, hopefully in June. So barring any setbacks, there will be a production 3.0 release that has the majority of the hooks open sourced. The two that we're leaving in the subscriber edition, some of the reasoning is They're not fully mature yet, and they're also very advanced. And if you're trying to do these things, please do talk to us. It may or may not end up being a commercial relationship, but please do talk to us. So there are a couple that will stay in the subscriber edition. We've released some blogs about this. We hope that the community will find this much more easier and straightforward. And a couple of things. One of the other reasons that we went this way is we have another product called Stork, which is a graphical user interface. How many of you have used Stork? Not many. Okay, so please do check out Stork. So it's basically a user interface to take a peek at the health of your Kea servers. We're adding that also to Bind, so you can actually start looking at the health of your DNS servers and start looking at things like even zone data through a graphical user interface, right? As someone who's been doing open source DNS stuff for a very long time, it seems odd as an ISC person to say that we have a GUI, but that is the current state of things. But anyway, one of the hooks that's required for some of the Stork functionality in Kea was one of these subscriber hooks. And so since Stork is free and open source, it didn't sit well with us to have some of that functionality sort of requiring this commercially licensed hook. So that's another one of the motivations. I think I have a couple of minutes left. If anyone has any comments or questions for me, I'm happy to answer and or try to. Okay. So I will yield more time to the next talk, if that is okay. All right, cool. Thanks, everyone.